Hello again. All right, so today we're also going to do an ELA lesson. Our learning target for ELA is I will read along with the text and provide the main idea. So again, the learning target is the goal, what you are working towards, what your focus is today. Okay, and then success criteria is I can determine the main idea of a text and find supporting text details. So I want to focus on this particular word here, the word find. Means it can be it can have a couple different meanings. So when I say the word find, that means that you can either look back into the text, you can use your eyes and your fingers to find that information, or even taking it a step further and writing down that information. Okay, either of those, any of those would apply here. Okay, so again, today we're going to focus on reading along with the text that I'm reading and providing the main idea, and being able to find, maybe with your finger, going back into the text, or even writing it down, any supporting details, more than one, plural. Okay. All right. So the book I'm going to read today, it's rather short, but looking kind of familiar. Something we've talked about in great length, Inclined Planes. So just taking a second to think about this book. Does it look like a fiction or nonfiction text? And what kind of leads you to that conclusion? I'll give you a second to think about that. All right, yeah. So if you guessed nonfiction, I would guess that you are correct. Typically, a title such as this probably leads us to the conclusion that it most likely will be nonfiction. But as we read, you will get that confirmation whether or not it is nonfiction because it gives you information. Nonfiction if it gives you information, excuse me, or fiction if it's telling a story. Okay? All right. So looking at the table of contents, one of our text features, really quickly, if I could just avoid that really shiny light. Okay, can't run from it, apparently. Table of contents. We have 8 chapters that we're going to read. And then at the end, we have glossary index, again, another couple of text features. All right, so chapter 1 I'm going to read. I'm going to share with you what I think the main idea is. Goodness, this light. All right, chapter 1, doing work with less effort. What comes to mind when you hear the word machine? Do you imagine a shiny red race car speeding around a track? Maybe you picture a farmer on a muddy tractor plowing a farmer's field. Or you might see a dishwasher, and remember, you are supposed to unload it. The dishwasher does the cleaning, but you still have to unload it. The picture really does support the caption that goes along with it. This is the dishwasher. He is performing that second half of what it says, the unloading piece. Okay, page 5. 2 kids having fun going down a hill on a sled. Doesn't matter if it's a car, tractor, dishwasher, or something as simple as a ramp. It is a machine if it helps you do work with less effort. All right, so these 2 pages, just kind of reflecting back, both the title, doing work with less effort, the pictures, text features, captions, and the text itself. And I'm thinking about what is the main idea of these 2 pages for this particular chapter. I want you to take a second and just maybe think, what is the author's message about this chapter? What did he or she write these 2 pages about? Their big idea was what? Okay, now I'm going to share with you what I think the main idea is. I think the main idea of chapter 1 is that a machine helps you do work with less effort. Some of the details that go along with my main idea, my first detail would go on page 4 where I pulled probably from the caption. But as well as the caption, all this information really does lead up to what is going on in the picture, but also in the main idea. So we see the dishwasher does the cleaning, and that cleaning piece is something that a machine does. So if you've ever tried washing dishes with just your hands, which can be done, that's one way to wash dishes. But the dishwasher also is something that was created to help make that job a little easier. So the dishwasher acts as a machine because it makes you do a little bit less of the effort, less of that work. Okay? Rinsing off the plate, putting in the dishwasher, and then the dishwasher does the rest for you. Okay? But then also you having to manually or with your hands unload it, put all the dishes away when they're dry. Another detail that supports my main idea of a machine helping you do work with less effort, on page 5, I'm pulling straight from the text here. Doesn't matter if it is a car, tractor, dishwasher, or something as simple as a ramp. It is a machine if it helps you do work with less effort. So that specifically tells us what a machine is, what its purpose is for, and how we can pull and what can be used as a machine. Actually, just keep it right there. All right, so chapter 1 talks about how a machine helps you do work with less effort. Okay, we're going to continue to read, and I'm going to give you 2 options for your ELA homework piece. So you can either choose, after we read one chapter together, write the main idea, or after completing the entire book, give me the main idea of the entire book. Okay? So once again, your 2 options after we read this book together is choose a chapter that we read and choose that chapter, and based off only on that chapter, give me the main idea, just like we did on this chapter 1. Or after having heard the entire book, tell me the main idea of the entire book. Okay? 2 choices, 1 task. You got it. All right, chapter 2, simple machines. We use race cars, tractors, and dishwashers for different purposes. However, they are all machines. In fact, they are complex machines because they have many moving parts. I'm going to say that one more time. Complex machines have many moving parts. Okay? Some parts of complex machines are machines themselves, called simple machines. The wheel, lever, pulley, screw, wedge, and inclined plane are simple machines, which we all, of course, knew that because we've worked a lot with those. Okay? Simple machines have very few, if any, moving parts. Follow-up question. Could a simple machine be considered a complex machine, or could it have many moving parts? What do you think? Could a simple machine, be considered a complex machine? Time's up. All right, what do you think? Could a simple machine be considered a complex machine? No, right? They're 2 different kinds of machines. A simple machine is a simple machine because of the fact that it has very few, if any at all, moving parts. But on the other hand, a complex machine has many moving parts, and that is the biggest difference between simple machines and complex machines. Okay? All right, caption that goes along with this picture here. Parts of a complex machine engine are held together with simple machines like screws. So if you've ever had the opportunity to take a look under a hood, lots of these things, these major parts of a car, which an example would be the engine, they're held down and really put and kept together with things, a simple machine called a screw. That's just one example of the many things part of a complex machine. Okay. Chapter 3, inclined plane. An inclined plane is a slanted surface. It may seem too simple to be a machine, but a slanted surface can make our work easier. Picture a ramp at the rear of a delivery truck. The ramp is an inclined plane. It connects a high surface to a low surface. We use it to move objects into and out of the truck. Why use the ramp? Because it's easier to move heavy objects down the ramp than to lower them from the truck to the ground. So this picture here really does a very nice job visualizing what that page was all about. So again, and this picture should look very familiar because we've spent a lot of time looking at ramps specifically and how we can get heavy objects from the ground to a higher surface. Okay. Without a ramp, it might take 2 workers to load or unload a heavy object. So this job is made so much simpler with less effort because of an inclined plane. also known as a simple machine. Next chapter. Less effort over a greater distance. Can an inclined plane help you do more work? No, an inclined plane allows you to do the same amount of work, but with less effort. Imagine climbing a steep hill. Going straight up is the shortest route, but it is also the most difficult way to get to the top. What if there was a trail that circled up the hill? If you followed a gradual slope up the hill, it would be an easier climb. In the end, you climbed the same hill and completed the same work. All right, so this picture describes or shows a hill, and this person is going what looks like straight up this hill. It's fun to climb straight up a mountain, but it takes a lot of effort. He's probably going to be completely exhausted by the time he gets to the top. All right. When you use an inclined plane, you trade effort for distance. Taking the gradual slope around the hill is easier, but takes longer. When you apply less effort over a greater distance, you gain a mechanical advantage. Let's say that one more time. When you apply less effort, okay, so maybe walking a longer trail around a hill over a greater distance, you gain a mechanical advantage. So although this picture looks like it's going to take a little bit longer going all the way around, probably some trails leading up, that's going to take a lot longer than going straight up, but it's going to take a lot less effort, and it's also considered a mechanical advantage. Okay? A gradual climb to the top gives you time to enjoy the view, and it looks like a really nice view. That's a nice hiking trail, I think. All right. Gravity and inclined planes. Gravity is a force that pulls objects toward the ground. You can build an inclined plane. See how gravity and inclined planes work together. You need a stiff board, a stack of books, and a toy car. Stack the books. Lay the board flat alongside the books. Set your car on the board. What happens? Nothing. The flat surface did not affect the movement of the car, even though it has wheels for rolling. Next, lean one edge of the board against the top of the books. Slanted picture, okay? To form a slope. Set the car near the top of the slope and let go. What happens? Does gravity pull the car down the slope? All right, so this is what the text is saying in the second part. So creating that slope, what happens with gravity? Without gravity, inclined planes would not be as useful. This is actually something that looks very familiar with what could be coming up with one of our science experiments when we come back. Common inclined planes. A staircase may be the most common inclined plane we use. A staircase connects different levels. If we don't have a staircase, we would need a ladder. Picture a ladder standing up connecting a lower level to an upper level. Now imagine a staircase connecting the same two levels. The stairs use more space. You have to travel a greater distance to get to where you're going, but stairs sure make that job easier. Could you imagine instead of these stairs, there being just a ladder to get from one floor to the second floor? Well, I prefer stairs. A staircase allows us to use less effort to get from one level to the next. It's that gradual slope. Look at the buildings and homes in your community. Many of them probably have sloped roofs. Why do we use inclined planes in building construction? They are common because gravity allows rain and snow to easily slide off sloped roofs. Next time you go by a construction site, look at the heavy equipment. Do you see any inclined planes? Watch the cement trucks. They have a sloping chute at the rear for wet cement to flow. Watch the dump trucks. Their load pours down an inclined plane when drivers raise one end of the bed. Okay, the dump truck is a really nice example of an inclined plane, but so is our cement truck. Okay. Imagine how hard it would be to unload this dirt without the inclined plane. Playing with inclined planes. Inclined planes help us do work with less effort, but we use them for fun too. Maybe you have spent time at a park or school playground. Did you climb to the top of the slide and let gravity carry you to the bottom? Have you ever been to a water park on a hot summer day? Most likely, you waited a long time to ride down a slippery slide. Whee! Who knew a simple machine could be this much fun? Useful machines. An inclined plane is a simple machine with no moving parts. It sounds too simple to be a machine, but an inclined plane can make your work easier. Whether you are indoors or outdoors, working or playing, inclined planes are useful, simple machines. It's true, inclined planes make our work easier, but who wants to think about work? All right, the last page is our glossary. Complex machines, effort, gradual slope, gravity, and mechanical advantage. All of these 5 words can be found throughout the text. They're in bold print. Again, another text feature. Okay, so again, what you're going to do is provide main idea of one of those chapters or just the overall book. Provide the main idea. Do you have to write down supporting details? No. Is it going to help you with what we're going to do tomorrow? Yes. So you choose, be prepared, be ready, and do what you can. Ask for help if you need it, because I'm not quite a mind reader yet. Okay? All right. If you have any questions, please ask. Otherwise, have fun. Go back and listen to this nonfiction text one more time. And main idea, supporting details, be ready.